stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop. Check it out.
So, I left off talking about the Tsar's great issues and how he was unable to feed his people, how he was a horrible leader during World War I, and how prices of food had skyrocketed, how he had this horrible issue with the issue of Rasputin and the health of his child. So all of these things ended up causing problems. So he was forced to abdicate his throne because of all of the issues. The Soviets and the Bolsheviks rose up and said, "No more, we're done." And what's put in his place? The provisional government. This government is supposed to be temporary. It's brought about by the Duma. Their job is to safely provide for all of the needs of the Russian people. But the problem, they're not doing what the Russian people want them to do. See, the Soviets, or the Council of Workers, Farmers, and Soldiers, they want something different. They want this. They want to get out of the war, and the provisional government just keeps Russia in the war, and that's one of the fatal flaws that ends up happening. So what they don't do, they don't get out of the war, they don't help the landless peasantry, they're struggling to provide food, and that's going to lead to the Bolshevik uprising. All right, and like I told you before, your Soviets are councils of workers, and they're going to represent the views of the socialists in Russia. They control the military as well as railroads. And, with that being the case, they're going to have a revolution, the Bolshevik Revolution, also known as the November Revolution. It's led by a guy named Vladimir Lenin, who returns from Russia, from Switzerland. Actually, the Germans get this guy over here. He was known as a dissenter to the Tsar for years, and he was actually exiled from the country. So think about why the Germans would send Lenin back to Russia during this tumultuous time. Lenin's slogan: peace, land, and bread. And the deal is, he felt that the Bolsheviks had to lead the revolution, which is a break from original Marxism. He said that the workers were incapable or were not able to rise up and initiate this revolution. So the Bolshevik Party had to do it. Thus, he started the revolution, which is a major break from traditional Marxism. He storms the Winter Palace, and he is going to overthrow the provisional government with his Bolshevik party. And the Bolsheviks are radical Marxist revolutionaries. With this overthrow of the provisional government, it's going to start or incite a civil war. The civil war will be between the Reds, the Bolsheviks, and the Whites, everyone else in Russia who does not want to be Marxist or Bolshevik or communist, because the Bolsheviks will eventually take on the name of communists. All right, so like I said, they take down the provisional government. Fighting the Civil War is going to last from 1917 to 1923, and the Red Army will eventually take power. You can see the casualties list right there. Very sad. Tons of people die. As you note, the Tsarist family is also going to end up dying during this time period, and this is where you get the story of Anastasia, the cartoon movie. All right, so when Lenin takes power, he's going to change the name of Russia to the USSR, the United Soviet Socialist Republic. The capital is going to be moved from St. Petersburg or Petrograd to Moscow, and now government shall be ruled from the Kremlin. The goal: spread a worldwide workers' revolt because remember, communism is a world, the workers of the world are supposed to unite according to Marxism. And he's going to establish the NEP policy, or the new economic policy, where he's going to have some aspects of capitalism and private ownership in there. It's kind of like a gradual change towards a more communist command economy. But right now, under Lenin, it's the new economic policy, gradual shift, some private ownership. But Lenin's going to have a stroke and die, and that's going to lead to the rise of Stalin.
I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop.